Well, away from Iran, let's get you some other news. Amid a legal row over delivery obligations, a Belgian court has found that the coronavirus vaccine maker AstraZeneca did breach its contract with the EU. AstraZeneca must now deliver 80 million doses to the EU from the time the contract was agreed up until September the 27th. The court then found the company hadn't made a reasonable effort to meet the delivery schedule. AstraZeneca, though, has claimed victory, saying, well, look, 80 million doses is fewer than the 120 million doses that the European Commission had wanted by the end of June. Let's get some more details on this. France 24's Dave Keating is standing by for us in Brussels. Dave, I mean, it's fair to say there's some good news to speak of here and some bad news for AstraZeneca.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you could say AstraZeneca has won the battle but lost the war. Basically, immediately when this ruling came out, AstraZeneca put out a press release saying they had won the court battle, pointing out that the Commission was asking for the court to make AstraZeneca deliver 300 million doses by the end of September, and the court only made them deliver a fraction of that, 80 million by the end of September, on a very easy, relaxed schedule throughout the next couple months that AstraZeneca will have absolutely no problem meeting. And while the court did meet the Commission's request that the penalty be 10 euros per day per missing dose, it's almost inconceivable that AstraZeneca will ever have to pay that because they surely can meet this delivery schedule. But the bigger issue here is that the court agreed with the European Commission that AstraZeneca had violated its contract. And that's the key thing the Commission needed here. This was never really about the doses or about the fine. Even when the Commission launched this lawsuit, it was already clear that AstraZeneca was going to be phased out in the EU. The Commission isn't ordering any more doses, and it's looking now more toward mRNA vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna. The EU doesn't need these doses. What it needed was a court to recognize that AstraZeneca had violated its contract with the EU, and the court undoubtedly did that. It's used some very strong language. It used the French expression faute lourde, which is a very serious French legal term. It basically means a very severe violation of the contract. It also didn't agree with AstraZeneca's excuse that it had used its best reasonable efforts to meet this contract. That was language in its contract with the EU, but the court said because AstraZeneca wouldn't export any doses from its facilities in the UK, which were listed in the EU contract, then the company couldn't possibly say that it used its best reasonable efforts. So at the end of the day, this was what was most important for the Commission, is having this recognized. And it now gives the Commission the ability to pursue further legal action against AstraZeneca based on the fact that there has now been legal recognition of a contract violation. Now, it would take a future judge or a future court to actually say, okay, that was going to result in damages, and we don't know if the Commission will try to take this further. But that in itself is a moral victory for the Commission, which is really what it was looking for here.
I mean, in the meantime, Dave, let's think a little bit about Europe's actual vaccination programme. How is this, if in any way at all, going to impact Europe's vaccination programme moving forward?
Yeah, the reality is it's not going to impact Europe's vaccine rollout, and it never would have, even if the court had made AstraZeneca deliver this 300 million doses by September. The fact is the EU doesn't need it anymore and is not terribly interested in it. The EU vaccination pace has increased incredibly. We're now at about half of all EU citizens having had a first dose. The EU has tons of extra vaccines floating around in the system now. So unless there was a supply crunch in the coming months, which seems unlikely, even a positive ruling here completely in the Commission's what the Commission wanted would not have impacted the vaccination campaign. But I think what this will affect is national countries in the EU having the confidence to trust the Commission again with this type of pooled negotiation with a private company. If the Commission had not been able to convince a court to recognize a contract violation here, or if the court had said, look, Commission, your contract was so bad and full of holes that AstraZeneca was able to walk right through it, I think national countries would have never again trusted the Commission to do this type of negotiation. So this is a huge relief for the Commission, and it means that if we go forward and we need new vaccines for new variants, it's more likely that national governments will again stick to the EU script and trust the EU collective purchasing scheme and trust the Commission to do those negotiations for it.
All right, Dave Keating, keeping us up to date on this story. Thank you from Brussels.